In this video, we will be covering the process of the reporting person and the reviewer. So once a critical incident is created, the first section is the participant information. Here you can see that we collect the first name, last name, middle initial, suffix, social security number, Medicaid ID, date of birth, gender, and then any additional comments you would like below. The second part is the actual critical incident record. Here you have the incident type, the date and time, the reported date, and the location. The reported date will default to the date that you had added the record. So since I added this record today, it defaulted to today's date. Anything in this record will be editable until you submit the record as ready for review. You also can add the incident location, the address, the age at the time of incident is calculated by the system. If a vendor was involved, you should record the vendor name and the code here. We also collect the contact name, their phone number, the reporting person name, and their phone number, as well as the relationship. If the person is My Health Link or a self-determination participant, that information should be recorded here. This is also included in the search selector and on the reports. So if they have been selected a certain way, you can filter by that in both of those things. The following fields, if they had been referred to any of these, and you mark the field yes, and then the date referred field will be also a required field. So these fields are all required initially and will be included in the review missing process. And then below that is the brief summary of incident. If it was a medication incident, then you should mark whether it was required for hospitalization or emergency medical treatment. And again, these are another set of two fields that are included in the reports. You should record any steps that were taken to prevent further incidents and any resolution. The status field is also included in the search selector and on reports, so you can filter by that too. Once it has been marked resolved or unsubstantiated, then the date and the user fields will be populated automatically. So in order to mark this incident as ready for review, you must finish all of the required fields. So to do that, we're going to select the review missing, and we are just going to quickly complete these fields. So any of the referred to fields, if you select yes, and then the count is going to go up, because then the date field, the referred to date field, will also be required. So it went up to 8 from 7. So then now a date is required. We are just going to go through these quickly, so I'm going to put no for all of these. That way we can move on to the next step. So once I select yes, this is going to send an email to the designated person within your organization, that is the reviewer. Before I show you what it looks like for the reviewer, I'm going to add an intervention. The date and time of the intervention is required, as well as the reported by field. By default, it will enter in today's date and the time that you selected the add button, but both of those are editable if needed. In here, it's pretty simple. You simply add the intervention description and then whether it has been completed or not. In order to mark it as completed, and then you need to have all fields that are required completed, and the only field is the intervention description. I'm just going to put some text in there so that we can move on. Once you select yes, then the field becomes blocked. So next we're going to log in as a reviewer person. And I don't quite remember what the participant was that I had just completed. I think it was this person. We're gonna hope. And it was. So now you can see that I am logged in as a reviewer. These fields are editable. This is pretty simple. You just need to mark whether it meets the criteria or not, add in the reviewer notes, and then mark it if it's completed. Again, you have the review missing. Pretty simple though. You just need to answer whether it meets the criteria. So we're going to go ahead and say yes. And then once you mark this as completed, it will populate the reviewed by and the review date fields. And then we will patiently wait for it to do that. And then once that is complete, it will send an email to MDHHS. And then if they need to, they can come in and review this.